I don't really even know where to begin. First of all, let me start by saying I grew up in a rural area in the Midwest on a small farm my stepdad has had in his family since he was young. When my mum and I moved in with him around age 5, for me it was a bit of a culture shock coming from the suburbs where we had lived with my grandparents up until that point. I'll be honest, I did not like living in their woods at all. I used to watch shows like Unsolved Mysteries and Are You Afraid of the Dark, so I was sure there was a werewolf behind every tree or a vampire lurking on the edge of the tree line. As I got older though, I did end up coming around to the environment as I became an avid runner and began to utilize the lonely, dirt country roads, and by the time I moved out after high school I had actually built up quite a bit of nostalgia for the place. I think what helped me get over the fear, in the end, was being alone for an hour or two at a time on the old roads miles away from people, surrounded by trees, and nothing threatening or terrifying ever happened like I imagined it would when I was a kid. At least nothing I could see. So many evenings, even some nights, I would be out there all alone. Sometimes miles away from another human being where no one would hear me if I was hurt or attacked, and where even my cell phone would be of little use to me. This aspect, looking back, is actually probably the creepiest part of my whole story. As I said, my family and I had absolutely no problems in that house or area for 18 years, but I'd be lying if I said it wasn't a little intimidating driving home from scary movies or on dark nights when you couldn't see the moon or stars. I remember sprinting as fast as I could when I got home some nights if my parents had forgotten to leave the porch light on. Like I said, other than the occasional paranoia, we experienced nothing out of the ordinary. Until this year. A little backstory on my family. My mum is a very social woman that does enough talking for both her and my stepdad. My stepdad is very reserved, no nonsense, to the point type of guy. He's a very practical man and has spent most of his life outdoors hunting and trapping. He actually specifically moved to that area to be away from people. My brother is pretty much a carbon copy of him and loves the outdoors just as much. My entire family does, but these two live and breathe it. My sister is in high school, and at the time this all happened her then boyfriend, my brother's best friend Ally, had just moved in with us. I live about 4 hours away now with my partner and only visit every few weeks, so it was them who started experiencing things first. I know you all will wonder this later, so I'll just get this out of the way. I am the only paranormal enthusiast in the family. I've always been more of a modern thinker and more open-minded about that kind of thing that they are. The rest of them tend to lean more towards organized religion and believe most things of that nature can be solved by biblical explanation, or it just doesn't exist. I would say they have no idea what to believe now. The first experience we had I wasn't actually present for. My brother and his friend were in the field next to our, belonging to my stepdad's grandfather who passed away in the 90s. All my stepdad's land is connected, so they keep their cattle scattered throughout the different properties. When you approach that specific plot of land, you will first go through a small patch of woods attached to our field and a hill. Once you emerge with a pond at the top that overlooks another field with a small house my stepdad's grandfather actually lived in, and when I say small I mean like a living room, a bathroom, and a small kitchen. The house is so old we don't really go inside anymore because it seems unstable. It truly looks like something from those scary stories to tell in the dark books you read when you're a kid. Anyways, they're there to check on a new calf that was born a few days before, as they have been known to be killed by wild animals every once in a while when they see someone coming out of the house, which was a huge alert to my brother because he knows no one wants to be in that house because it's unsafe. So he and my sister's boyfriend move closer to see who it is and relax a little when they see it's just my stepdad. They are a little preoccupied and still kind of far from the house, so instead of walking all the way over, he calls my stepdad and asks him what he's doing over there. My stepdad is quiet for a moment before he reveals that he's in town with my mother getting groceries. Like I said, he's not really one to joke around, so my brother knows immediately something is wrong. He and Arlie run over to the house, and as they get closer see the back of someone walking behind the house out of view. When they get to the other side, as you might have guessed, absolutely nothing. Let me reiterate that they are in a field, so whoever this was could not have hidden behind a tree or really anything without my brother seeing them running away. Doing what most people would do, they run as fast as they can home and lock the doors, waiting for my parents to get home. They would return later with my stepdad, some guns, and all 3 of our 4 dogs. Nothing. No sign of anyone in the house, no footprints, the rusty door didn't even seem to be disturbed. They went home with a few theories: homeless person, neighbor, kids, but that didn't explain how this person seemed to just dip out of existence. But I don't think that's what really bothered them, although that's disturbing as hell. No, I think the part that bothers them the most is that both boys, even before regrouping and talking it over, swear the person looked identical to my stepdad.